lady. She's going to be our guest speaker today here at the Carol Frazier studio. And it's Betty Withrow. Is that how I pronounce your last name, Betty?
Yes, it is, Carol.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So I just wanted to tell you all how I even met Betty. She and I happened to we were neighbors in the Monterey Peninsula area. She was from Big Sur, and you're living in Monterey right now, correct?
Yes.
Right. So anyway, but I found her on LinkedIn. So I went to Sales Navigator and I put in people from, Carmel by the Sea, and Betty popped up and I was like, oh, look what she does. Oh, I love what she does. And so Betty's an author and a coach, and she has a business called Writing Launchpad. She does quite a bit. And I'm so excited that you get to hear her speak today. And so Betty, I mean, you're one of the things that I was so attracted to that you were offering was, an intro stack, and we'll get into that. But I'd love for you just to kind of give us your intro, since you're the intro queen. Tell us about you.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on, Carol. It's been fun getting to know you. And so I am Betty Withrow, and I am the Writer's Launchpad. I specialize in supporting authors and businesses who need to get it done. If you visit my website, you'll find that's the first thing that I mention is your writing project tapping its foot, waiting for you to show up and get it done. So I do various things. I support authors who want to put together books, and they may have an idea, it may be partially developed, or it may be just needing a few tweaks here and there, anything in between. That's one thing that I do. And another thing that I do is that I write for businesses. A lot of business owners are really under pressure because they need written materials, they know it, and it's not happening. So I can take that pressure away and have those things done so they can go on and increase their profits.
And that's what it's all about, even for the artists in here. So most of us in here in the Carol Frazier studio are creative entrepreneurs of some kind. You're in here because you were tagged as a creative. I was like, oh, you have to be in this group, or you joined it on your very own. And we're so happy to have each other and just be able to celebrate our creativity. But oftentimes, at least for myself, I'll speak for myself, as creatives or as a creative, I wear so many hats. So Betty, I'll say well, I'm a singer. You only have so much time for an elevator speech, right?
Right.
An introduction.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will introduce myself, kind of depending on who the person is, but I'm a singer or the circumstance, right?
Right.
Singer, songwriter, composer, artist development coach, media trainer, and I help people find their voice because I want to help them build their audience. So that's a mouthful. So I'm excited to be able to work with you, and I just wanted to share you with everybody. So give us a little bit of information about this intro stack, because that's what I came to you for. I was like, oh,
okay.
I need this. Yeah.
Yeah, as I recall, I had posted something on LinkedIn about the power of feeling confident when you're in a networking event and just being able to say who you are. And then you reached out to me, and that's how we know one another. So it turns out that it's called the Power Personal Post Booster Pack. I didn't even remember that until I visited my website. And that is because I use the rocket science metaphor for my writing, for my business presentation. I do have a family. I have a number of rocket scientists in the family, so I feel good about that.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so what the booster pack does is you present yourself clearly and precisely so that people are more interested to know about you. Mm-hmm. And you say exactly what you do, who you are, and what you do for your clients in a way that people can take in easily. I provide a business biography of 100 words, which can come in really handy. For instance, if you're asked to speak and someone asks you for a bio, you got your 100 words. Introductions for networking events and what you love about your business. There's bullet points that you can use as talking points or in media posts. So you have three elements. You have your bio, you have a 10-second intro, and then I build that into a 30-second intro, and then that flows into a 60-second intro. And you can memorize all of it, and it doesn't have to be word for word, but as it becomes part of you, it can really boost your ability to feel comfortable when someone says, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you. What do you do?" And then, "Oh yeah, what is it that I do?" That kind of thing. And we've all been there. I've been there. That's why I started, like really nailing how can I present myself effectively and quickly so that people don't get confused by what I'm saying, and feel that emotional stop that happens when you don't have that piece right there ready.
Right, right. So what
Yeah.
would your advice be to someone like myself when I see that I had another artist pop in here? Um, when we have, like, say, two or three or four things that we do in our
Mhm.
world, is that something you can kind of narrow it down into a statement, or do you suggest having a couple different statements? Or, so let's go. I'm a singer, I'm an artist development coach, and I do media training. So, with those three things, how in the world would you? I know I'm really throwing it at you. You don't have to answer it now, but that's kind of something that I do notice with the creatives, that
Yeah.
we don't
There's
like
more than one
wearing
thing
one
going on.
hat. Don't make me wear one hat.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point. A friend of mine is a branding expert, and she likes to call those different things divisions. I have different divisions in my business. Like, for instance, the Writers Launchpad has a book coaching division and a copy services division. And that makes it so that it's a little bit easier for me to like comprehend it before I speak it. So what I would do is actually, this is how I create this product, is that it's through an interview. I go through, what is it that you do? Who's your target market?
Hmm.
What do you provide? What benefits do people get from working with you? And then let that kind of twirl around in the back of my mind for a little while. And then typically all of a sudden I know what it is that needs to be written, and I just write it. And then I go back to it a couple more times to be sure that it's on point. And that approach, it concentrates everything. Yeah, when you have more than one skill set, you definitely want to have them in a relatable way so that people see the connecting thread.
I
What's
love
your theme? Like there's a woman in one of my networking groups who provides compassionate home care, and she also works with personal appearance, health and wellness products, and even diet products. So, what is it that she's providing on the ultimate level? And we did a kind of a brainstorming session about how to present that. And what she's really providing is confidence. She's giving people confident that they're safe, they're
it.
confident in how they feel, and they're confident about their relationship with their body because they're taking control. So that became the center of her brand, actually. And she even created a logo around the letter C. That's really cool because it's got all the different services that she provides around that one theme. So it's really ultimately people are like, okay, yeah, I hear your list of products and services, great, but what is it that you're really giving people? What's the benefit that they have when they work with you?
Right, right. I love that. So it's really more of the benefit usually lands better with people when it's a feeling, when you're
Right.
moving them emotionally from one
Hmm.
place to another, or the
Yeah, yeah,
outcome.
yeah.
The
How do
outcome.
you make people feel? How do
Mm,
you make people feel? Like in my case, I make people feel like they can take control because they're not under pressure. When you're under pressure, you're constantly in this weird space, right? But
mhm.
if you have control because you know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and you don't have to deal with it because someone else who that's what they do is dealing with it, then that's a whole different thing.
Right.
And then in the intro package, for example, I'm offering people a tool for confidence. Like I've seen people change when they bought this thing, and they went from this one guy in particular I'm thinking of. Every time I'd see him in a networking meeting, he was all over the place. You're like, okay, who is he this time?
Sounds like me.
Really, he was a nice guy. I mean, I like the guy. And I'm like, well, how does that work? That, nobody can just go, okay, here he is. That's who he is. Because that's what in a business networking context, that's what you want. You want to know who somebody is so that you can relate with them, refer to them, refer for them, and all those things.
Right.
And he didn't know either. And then when I interviewed him, I realized, okay, his strength is providing excellent service. He's done these different things, providing event management services, other things. But what he's really all about is the personal service angle. So what I said was, when you think of personal service, when you think of excellent service, think of Deuce Brand. Okay. And then when he was able to have that in his bio and in his, because that's what I put it in his bio, not like, hey, when you think of personal service, think of me. That's not what you say. But it for the bio, it would work great. And when he realized that about himself, he was able to present himself, and he actually got himself a job that worked really well for him based on that level of confidence. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I really did help him out with that.
Oh, I think it's an amazing offering, and the centering, the calmness, like that you described. The control, that when you go in,
Yeah.
you have this sense of really how you help people and how you can
Yeah.
change their lives. And yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's great. I mean, that's what a gift that you're giving them.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah, I'm looking to see if we have any chats here right now, not at this time. But feel free if you're popping in, if you have any questions for Betty. I'm looking at my phone here, so that's where if you have any questions for Betty or for me, just pop them in the chat. And then also on the replay, thank you for watching the replay if you are. Feel free to just put some questions in here. We'll see them, and we can respond. And so I also want to know, first off, you also say that you help people write their book. I heard.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Sure. Well, a lot of people, when they think about writing a book, just the idea of it makes them go, oh no. They've been thinking about it. They would actually like to do it. Maybe they've always wanted to do it, and they go, oh, it's too hard. It's too big. I can't do it. And that can't word is like, don't say can't. It's not nice. It's not a good word. Right. So so what I do with people is I meet the author where they are. It could be anywhere. They could be just in the idea stage. I have this great idea for a book and I don't know where to begin. I provide help with that. For instance, developing a chapter outline. This is all done through interviews and collaboration
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
of bringing our thought processes together so the author understands what the book is about. And actually the very first question I ask for any writing project, regardless of whether it's a book or copy or anything else, is, what do you want this to do? Because when we understand the exact purpose of the writing, from there we can put together a message that accomplishes that, understanding what's going to be the result of this for you, for your reader, for the world, for your business. What's this going to do? So, getting back to the book, if a person maybe they have a stack of notes and they don't really know how those notes can all go together, but they definitely know their topic really well, and they want to have a book. I'm thinking of one in particular who is a speaker, and she wants to help other business owners in her field attain the kind of success that she's had and save them the aggravation she had to go through. She wants to be their mentor. So what we did is I interviewed her, made transcripts from her notes, and then wrote the chapters for her, because although she's a great speaker, she's not a great writer. Okay. And, so that's another way. Then sometimes I have someone who has most of their book written, but they need it filled in. They need the bridge from one section of the book to another. And so I work with the author to understand what the flow is and make that make that flow sensible and smooth. So the reader just falls into the book and they're not going, hey, wait, we were just here. Why are we over here now? Because
Right.
that's something that happens in raw drafts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a coach, a ghostwriter, and an editor, depending on what's needed in the particular moment.
That's awesome. Betty, I don't know if you know, but I've written one book. Um, it's the Sing Zone method. So it's basically an ebook that goes along with my singing course. And
Nice.
yeah, so that's something I knew inside out, and it was really fun to put together.
Mhm.
I'd give it away for free, and I give it away for
Yeah.
free because that's really a way that I can start to reach out to people and meet new possible singers. And so it's a wonderful free gift that I can give. It's also on Amazon. I think it sells for $4.99 or 92 cents, whatever they give it away for on Amazon. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then I have a second book that I am writing. Well, I wrote the book, and my cousin is illustrating it. And it did get picked up by a small publisher. And so we are in the process of the editing and the copywriting part. So they sent it back to me. It's been all a brand new process for me. And they sent it back,
Hmm.
because I gave it to them in InDesign format, and they sent it back and said, no, you need to do this in the Word, and you have to have it only in a Word document. And so it's just
Yeah.
been, I'm learning a lot as a brand new person, and
Hmm.
having someone like yourself to guide through the process, I think would just be wonderful. you know of course, now I've got the publisher who's guiding me, but up to that
Yeah.
point, or even to get you know I hired a gal, Dawn, Yellow Bright, and that she's a really great friend of mine, and I hired her to help me write the letters to the publishers. And she
Hmm.
gave me like four different letters, and it got me a publisher. You know,
That's
hiring a
great.
writer is a big deal. It's very important, because I think that for myself, I love helping people find their voice. I love, helping people show up on camera, and I love, the artist development part and supporting their careers. And but the writing part I can't do. You know what I mean? I can do some of it. I can do some copy or pass it on to Tim, who's always Tim is my husband. Most of you in here know who Tim is. Tim always is having to go behind me and do editing, because I'm the fastest writer. I'm just like speed writing and constant. He's like, that word's misspelled. You didn't do this right, because I'm super fast. And I'm also a speed reader. So maybe that's where my brain is. Do you find
Yeah.
that people like myself just, have you heard of that? Speed reading, speed writing?
Oh yeah, yeah. I took speed writing in junior high, and I got really, because I've always read a lot, so I'm
Yeah,
like, I got to where I could read very, very fast. And then at a certain point, it was like, wait, I want to slow down so I can absorb it a little better. But I
right.
know what you're talking about, that speed thought mind. And then, your fingers don't keep up. And believe me, some of my first drafts are just miserable with typos. But that's okay. Your first draft is supposed to suck.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So what else do you offer on that beautiful peninsula that you live on? You have a I did
Um, Well, let's see. I mean, I do a lot of these writing services. I'm also a maker of women's accessories, which is something I've done. It was my first business when I was 16, and I started making crocheted hats back in the day in New Jersey, where I was living, the site of the American Revolution. Most of the American Revolution was fought in New Jersey, and so we had a revolutionary consciousness going on in the 60s. And I started making Martha Washington style hats in day glow colors with crochet, and they sold very, really well, and then I was making way, way out stuff. And it just progressed on from there. And at one point, I had gone all the way to making couture cocktail hats and silk jackets for a very high end salon. And it was a lot of fun, very rewarding. And then that lady closed her place and brought her business into her home, and things just kind of shifted. So now I still make things and I sell them in high end boutiques, and I sell at the Nepenthe gift shop. in Big
Oh,
Sur,
yeah.
the Phoenix
My
Cup.
favorite gift shop in the
Oh,
world. Yes,
yeah.
that's
Well,
that's my favorite, honestly. If you
oh,
haven't been,
great.
yeah, if you haven't been there, go to Big Sur. You
Uh-huh.
drive past the Big Sur. It's a drive from Carmel, and then that's Nepenthe. You have to visit.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. 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 And they've been very supportive of me. I started selling there in the early 70s, and they still right now, well, actually for the last few years, I have my own display right by the cash register. They highlight me, they treat me like gold there. And so it's wonderful. And I also sell at the Carmel Bay Company in downtown
Oh yeah.
Carmel. And
So that's the
beautiful.
other best gift store, and that's the best one in Carmel. Well, you've got the good places, Betty. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. And I love my buyers. They're so kind and so appreciative, and we have a good time every time we meet. So it's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you're the perfect example of the people here in this group. We have several different skills and gifts
Yeah.
and talents, and we flow between them. And it's the flowing
Right.
between the gifts and the talents that keeps us alive as creatives. I think we don't think in a linear, most creatives don't
Right.
think in a real linear path. And being able to circle off into a passion, a creative passion, um, and have that is life giving, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's what makes it work is when you have all of the streams coming together and doing their thing and watering the garden. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
great.
So let's
Mhm.
see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to when this interview is over, I'm going to make sure to get all of your links in the chat, and I might even post some links, like another post in our group where people can reach out to you and find you and work with you. I honestly think that what you offer is so amazing, and yeah, the intro stuff
Thank
is
you.
something I'm going to take advantage of because I'm in the middle of shifting, a little bit how I support people. So besides just artist development and management, I've had a lot of
Mhm.
people come to me who are coaches, and um, they're not necessarily in the creative artistic world, but
Mhm.
um, they have the need to really show up on camera and find their voice and do lives just like this one. And
Yep.
part of all of that is really knowing their voice and their written voice, you know,
Right.
who they are on paper, and 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 just the written voice is so powerful. Most of our social media and ways that we can move people and change lives, the quotes. Remember how our social media just started out with just quotes? It's evolved
Right.
now to reels and dancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's true. It is true. And the having the materials to present to someone who's asking you for your intro, your bio, your show intro or whatever, um just like that's one more piece of the puzzle, and on you go. You don't have to sit there and puzzle it out, and
Right.
spend that time. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So I hope that any of you listening to this or watching the replay, that if you have this need, that you really need to work with somebody who can help you clarify your message and really get it written down. Betty is your gal. I'm just so pleased that we got to meet. I can't wait. So we were neighbors and didn't know each other while I lived there, while I lived in
Right.
Carmel, and yeah, and so we definitely will be meeting in person, Betty. In fact, I can foresee that we might even be teaching a workshop together. I think that would be fantastic.
Oh, that would be
Wouldn't that be
lovely.
fun?
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Yes, let's
I
talk
think
about that.
I would love that because I can see a workshop where you are helping them get everything written down, and then I can take them over and start working with them on their presentation, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great idea.
Hmm.
Let's talk some more about that
Yeah,
idea. I
so if
like
you're
that.
interested in that, let us know that too, because we might put it together sooner than later.
Might
Oh,
as well get the show on the road.
that's
Right?
right. I
Yeah.
love that. See, you are a wordsmith. I like that. Get the show on the road.
You're so kind. Thank you for bringing me here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's such a joy, sincerely, sincerely. Well, to all of you creatives out there, thank you for being here on the Carol Frazier Studio. I love you guys. Let me know what you want to see more of. And if one of you want to be highlighted like this and you want to share your gifts, your talents, and how you help people and serve them, let me know and let's just hop you on a live. Because I think the more we practice showing up and being ourselves and just sharing our message, especially in a safe place like this group, because this Carol Frazier Studio is, I want it to be a safe place for you guys to practice, spread your wings and fly. So, like Betty said, the show must. What'd you say? You said it so beautiful. The show must get on. What?
Oh, what I said was, let's get the show on the
There
road.
you go. Let's get the show on the road. That's right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
check the comments and check the posts, and we'll make sure that you get contact with Betty. If for some reason you can't see any of that, reach out to me personally, and I'll make sure that.
I haven't put anything in the chat, but I'll put them in our LinkedIn chat so you have them.
Perfect.
Because I didn't put anything into the Zoom here because I
Okay.
figured the live couldn't see them. Right.
Okay, sounds good. Any parting words for our studio group?
So, you're more than you think you are. And when you really understand the core of you, you will shine more than you think you can.